Hey, what's up, guys? This is Reddit Diddles, and boy, do I have a story for you. I was waiting for the Long Island Railroad in Queens, New York. There's a small waiting place where people can grab a light snack while waiting for the train. I had a 45-minute wait, so I decided to buy myself a sandwich, a small iced tea, and a bag of chips. I was really looking forward to eating my snack because I had a long day and my legs felt like noodles. I needed some food to make it home. I grabbed a table and began to eat my sandwich, and I was so happy I was able to stuff carbs into my mouth. I overhear a conversation between CB and a random stranger just waiting for her train. The CB was talking loud, so it was hard to ignore the conversation. Let's call the commuter RS for random stranger. CB: I moved to the Dominican Republic after my deadbeat father gave me $200,000. He sold his deli for $750,000, and all he gave me was $200,000. Can you believe that? He should have given me half. I spent that money in 2 years and realized that I have to work in my country because there's no food stamp programs like in New York. Random stranger: sorry to hear that. Have you tried looking for a job here? I work at a church where I could help you find a job. Actually, we are looking for someone to shred documents and file stuff. CB: excuse me? You didn't hear right. I am a single mother and I don't have time to work. Random stranger: their church offers daycare for single mothers like yourself, and daycare services are free. All you need to do is work a full-time job and on Sundays help with church services like sweep. We also offer a room for you and your child. CB: I'd rather pray for God to give me more money. RS: I work at a church and it helps me value life more. If you take a job, I bet it will help you be part of a community. CB: listen, I got money. By asking, I make $100 to $200 a day because I beg in the city. Random stranger: okay, well, I think you have everything under control then. I need to start walking to catch the train. It was nice talking to you. CB: before you leave, can you please buy me a cup of coffee and a sandwich? I have no money. RS: sorry, I have no money on me. All I have is $1. RS hands a dollar bill to CB. CB: only $1? You can keep that. Looks like you need it more than me. RS: I insist. Please take my dollar. CB takes the dollar and RS starts walking away. I'm still eating my sandwich and about to start the second half of the sandwich. CB starts talking to me as I am still eating and waiting for the train. CB: excuse me, kind lady. It looks like you can afford a sandwich. Can you please buy me a cup of coffee and food? Me: no. CB: the nervous. I am in need and need food. Buy me food, you greedy person. Me: I am so sorry. I need to leave to catch the train. Good luck with everything. I grab my stuff and walk away really fast. This is insane. She is offered a job, offered childcare, offered everything in the world, and it amazes me that she complains about someone giving her $200,000. Like she deserved more of her father's business. Some people, just kill me. Kill me now. The next story I have for you is of a classic choosing beggar times 10. I'll be calling her Karen as she fits the meme. So, my wife and I became homeless together early in our relationship back in 2015. We were only 17 and didn't have a means to support ourselves. And after a few cases of couch surfing, we ended up in a co-ed youth shelter. I have so much love for this nonprofit as they kept my wife and I together through our time. And I wish the chain would expand. Karen got hit with the homeless too. Except she lived in her car and she has 2 dogs. Fast forward to the end of 2017. There's a lot that happened in these 2 years that could fit in subreddit. But I want to keep this relevant. My wife and I had found a place we could afford and had a spare bedroom, so my wife talked me into letting Karen move in with us. It was a 2-bedroom and our newborn slept in our room. I was very uneasy about Karen moving in with us. She lived off of welfare and child support and refused to work. She did have her own issues that did make it hard for her to work, but she had a struggle with accountability and would often end up very late on her debt payments, and she continues even to this day to buy her MLMs, but my wife talked me into it, and her mother moved in. Immediately there was debates on actual rent. As we agreed on 50-50, she began to push back, saying there were 2 of us adults and 1 of her, so it should be 66-33. We agreed to pay the full $500 on rent and leave the utilities for her to pay, so she was saving big time. I knew this kind of thing would happen, as it's the kind of stuff she does all the time. It caused some fraying with my wife as we began to bicker about it, as we only made about $850 a month, so we had very little at the end of the month. The landlord was used to dealing with sketchy people and didn't require us making 3 times the rent. I thought she would be fine with the utilities, and at first she was. She was driving for Uber around this time and even out-earned us. She began to bring her new boyfriend around. This will be relevant later. Around this time, she stopped paying for utilities. Rent and utilities came straight out of my wife's account, and her mom would reimburse us. So I brought it up, and this argument went on for at least a week. Eventually, while I wasn't home, my wife was fed up. Karen had said that it wasn't fair that she had to pay for all the utilities, and was arguing she should only pay 1/3. This was despite the fact that she still didn't pay rent, and now her boyfriend was sleeping over at least 3 days a week. So my wife agreed to paying 1/3 of the utilities. This, of course, did not last long. She stopped paying altogether, and no matter how much we argued, she wouldn't pay a cent. This was a bad time in the household. My wife didn't have the heart to throw her out at this point. Note, other arguments that were happening at this time. She used to have access to my wife's bank account, and she pulled $100 without asking so she could pay for her MLM. Not the first time. She owed us over $1,000 in borrowed money, and my wife began to start demanding it. So in the end, because we both worked, Karen's rent was babysitting my son for a 2-hour window where neither my wife nor I were home. So the house we lived in was a pretty shady area, and we were dealing with thefts and squatters. I finally had enough and made drastic changes for the sake of my family. I joined the Air Force. Because I could sign the dotted line, I needed to go to MEPS, a medical screening to ensure you're fit to serve. My wife was working all day, so Karen would be watching my son for about 6 hours. After the screening, I was picked up by Karen. She was out doing Uber Eats, so she could make money. The first thing I noticed was his constant screaming. My son doesn't scream like this without a reason. He was a quiet baby and he loves car rides. Karen said she tried everything and couldn't stop him. Usually he stops fussing when he sees me, but nothing even I could do would stop it. So when I get home, I take him in so that I can find out what's going on. Turns out he hasn't been changed at all. His diaper was disgusting. As soon as he was changed and held, he was totally fine again. Still fussy, but not screaming. I was livid. As Karen was out still Ubering, I couldn't have yelled at her. And when my wife came home, she listened to me vent and she would talk to Karen. This was not the only time this kind of thing happened. If you enjoyed my narration, please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel for future videos that will make you wonder about life and where you're going. Make sure to like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And don't forget to turn on the bell for notifications. I love you all, and please come back again for story time with Reddit Diddles. I love you. Bye.